What are the 3 top things you must consider when switching from road to trail running? Stick around and find out. Kia ora team, Brad here for the Run Experience. Now I want to share with you my experience on the weekend. I had a fantastic trail half marathon with my best mate, Todd. We went and ran this race, had an absolute blast. But you know, I'd been training really for road and track for the last few months. So I want to share with you my 3 top tips that you have to think about if you want to switch from road running to trail running. The trail run that we completed in was the Tussock Traverse set in the beautiful Tongariro National Park in Aotearoa, New Zealand. There was around 550 metres of climbing in that, and it definitely wasn't road terrain. It was pretty undulating, lots of pinchy climbs, some stairs, a little bit of rock. So what do you have to think about if you're going to swap from road to trail? The first thing is equipment. You've really got to check the compulsory gear list for any trail run, and there should be one. So for this run in particular, you had to carry a seam-sealed jacket, you had to carry a woolly thermal top, a beanie, gloves. You also had to carry a safety bag, not a blanket. And to carry all that, obviously you've got to wear a race vest and carry some fluid with you because this was self-supported. So even though it was only 21k, it's still in a very unforgiving environment if the weather turns, and the organisers of the race have to ensure safety for the participants. So gear is really important. You've got to make sure you've got the right gear to be able to compete and even start these races safely. Number 2, dynamic trail specific exercises. Now it's really important in the build up to a trail run to make sure you're doing things like box jumps, dynamic split jumps, dynamic hops to make sure that your ankle stability is heightened. Now, I mean, all of that stuff works and will make you a better road runner, but I think it's imperative for the trail. So make sure you're putting some of those exercises in for that 4 to 6 weeks before you attempt any sort of running on the trail. These sort of dynamic exercises will not only improve your performance, but most importantly, they'll greatly decrease the chance of injury out on the course. And that's really important. The first thing you want to do is finish one of these things. Number 3, pacing. Now I know what you're saying, pacing is important for any running race, especially if it's over 5k. You really want to look at negatively splitting the race. That means taking the first half a little bit easier than the last half and coming home a bit quicker. But you know what? It's even more important, more imperative in trail races or any races where there's undulating terrain with some hills, because if you get the pacing wrong, it really kicks you at the end. So going out in a controlled pace is incredibly important for these trail runs. If you get your pacing wrong on a road flat run, you can usually ease your way home without too much damage, too much loss of time. In a trail run, that simply doesn't happen. If you get the pacing wrong and you're not left with enough energy, if you burn too many matches early on, you'll be walking the hills and you won't be able to maintain that flow over the undulating trail. So pacing is so important when you switch from the road to the trail. If you want a few more reasons why you want to get out and explore some trails and get into our natural world, please check out this video that I did earlier with Dan. Find your local trail, get a mate and go and run it. It's the best thing ever. Otherwise, get out there and get strong, earn your miles, champion compassion. I look forward to catching up with you on the next video.